This video is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, because I grant you access to a look over my shoulder when I edit one of my YouTube videos. I will teach you everything I've learned over the past years editing hundreds of videos for social media, just like the one you are watching right now. I'm more than excited to reveal all the secrets. I will teach you everything I know about making a video look good and sound good at the same time, and then we will go through the entire process and export it in the end, so other people like you right now can watch it on social media platforms just like YouTube. But first of all, why am I qualified to tell you about this? So if we haven't met yet, my name is Fabian. I am an e-commerce student from Germany at the University of Applied Sciences, Würzburg-Schweinfurt. I've been 2 years in the tech industry and I have 5 years of experience in business. I've started 3 businesses on my own. First, an e-commerce store, second, a productized service agency, and now I'm building my brand online with videos like these. Over the course of the last couple of years, I've learned quite a bunch of things when it comes to producing content and making content look good, and I have had huge improvements. If you go back and have a look at my old videos, they have improved over the last 365 days by a ton. And all of these learnings are gathered in this video. So I'm more than excited to now go over in the screen recording and show you everything. Enjoy. So now we are in my PC and now we can go through how to assemble and edit a video. As I've already mentioned, I'm using the free software called DaVinci Resolve. You can download it easily, just search it on your search engine of choice and then install it on your local machine. I'm using the studio version, which is the paid version, but I will always tell you when we use a paid feature, and there is just one single occasion I can think of that you can also absolutely do with the free version, but it's just quicker to do in the paid version. It's about audio editing, but that's one of the last steps where we will come to. Okay, so the first thing we need to do before we can do anything right here is to get the footage on our PC. And that is what I already did. So I went ahead and did that. I have folders with numbers for every video. Every video gets an ID. And the video we are talking about here has the ID of 0747, which is the video here about me teaching you how to film videos, talking head videos, and that kind of stuff. And this is the video we want to edit. We have multiple different sources, and yeah, so let's get into it. This is the folder of reference with all of our footage. All right, so let's get started. First things first, we will probably need to do some work later again too, but let's have a look. So let's create a new project. The only thing I did was open DaVinci Resolve. This is the window you will get prompted. In your case, there will be nothing right here, but we will just start with a new project. And I will call this project now 0747, just as an ID, so I will later know what it is. And DaVinci Resolve is pretty simple and straightforward. Each tab is for one purpose. So this tab is for media, so getting all of your clips organized and into the software. This is the so-called cut page. This is thought for editing and cutting your video together. Then you have the edit page. This is thought for adding titles and lower thirds and that kind of stuff. Then you have the fusion page where if you want to do some visual effects, VFX, you can do it there. Then we have the color page. So if you want to do some color grading, change the color of an image, make it more bright or more saturated, etc. That's where you can do that. Then we have the Fairlight page. That's everything about audio. And then we have the Deliver page. That's where you export our video in the end. But we only will need a few of these pages. So the cut page we will ignore, and the fusion page we will ignore. Let's get started with the media page. And here we can import media, but the very first thing we need to do is adjust the project settings. What do I mean by project settings? Well, we need to set our project to settings that we want to work with. Since all of the resolution I recorded in is 4K, we need to edit the timeline resolution, which essentially is the resolution of our project. So I'm going to select 4K here. And I've also recorded in a frame rate of 25 frames per second. So that's what I'm going to select right here. And then I will click save if I have checked all of these settings and if I'm satisfied with all of them. So I click save and now we are good to go. So let's have a look. We have here our media pool. This is essentially all of the clips we've already imported in the software. And up here we have essentially all of our computer settings. So what you can see right here is the same that I was able to see right here. This is exactly the same view. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we will open folder 0747, grab all of the media and drag it in here. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So now what we need to do is, once we have imported all of the footage, we gotta look through the footage if everything is the way we want it to be. Let's have a look. Like 380 euros. I can only say it in euros, but in dollars it's pretty much similar. It's 380. So this works well. Like 500 YouTube videos, and but the audio is trash. That's why we have an external audio recording that you can hear right now. Let's have a listen. Why can't you just plug the microphone straight into your computer? At least this microphone. That's due to technical reasons. First, the sound, the signal has to be digitalized or digitized before you can use it. I don't understand any of this. I just watched tutorial. All right, so this seems to work, but since I have recorded some more footage that I want to use in this project, I will have to go in this folder right here again. So this is this one, and I will need to get some of these clips. I could also just drag and drop them in here, but that's not what I want to do. I want to select them from here because there I have a better overview. And what I recorded is I did some light settings, exactly. So let's get this clip in here. Then I did some more lighting settings. Get them in here as well. And I think this one is a clip we still need. Yep. All right. And okay, here's another one, another take. Let's have a look. Okay, one more. Apparently. Is there even one more? Okay, this seems just like a test take. And I'll do everything in this simple and short video. Okay, and don't worry about the color. We will also color grade these videos later. Okay, so now we have all of these videos in here. Let's create some bins, which just means folders where we can, organize our videos. So let's do one bin that's titled lighting, because these videos were about lighting and I misspelled it. So I will just double click the name. Hello. It does not want to be renamed, so we go right click and rename. Let's call it lighting. And that's where we want, all of these videos to go into. Okay. That's our lighting folder. And then we have some smartphone footage that I also want to organize. So let's get all of that smartphone footage in this folder. And this is the main recording. Hey, my name is Fabian. I've been doing over like 5 photos. And don't be mad. Okay, so this is a bad take. I can immediately see because it's just 27 seconds long. So we can remove this one. I just press my delete key. And this should be the right take. Yeah, it is pretty long. It's half an hour. All right, so this is all of our setup. And now we can switch to the edit page. And in the edit page, let's go. We have a bunch of different modular things we can expand and do. But the first thing is the media pool. And the media pool right here is exactly the same thing as this one. For example, if I create a bin test, and if I go over here to the edit page, it is right here. If I delete it on the edit page, it is also deleted here. So it is completely synchronized. Everything I change here is also in the edit page. And this is the only thing we will need to get started. So what I'm going to do is I will drag this video over here and wait until it's loaded. And once I can see it, I will let go. So now we have created a timeline 1. Let's rename it to 0747. And let's put all of these videos into a folder just to make it more clear. 047. You get the point. So let's organize all of that in this folder right here so I can reference it more easily. Okay. So we are in a timeline called 0747 in a folder called 0747. And this is our recording that came out of the camera as is. If we skip to the end, we can see it is 43 minutes long and 46 seconds and some 14 milliseconds. Let's have a listen. Camera from the dot right here, and the camera automatically adjusts the white balance settings for you, which is pretty neat. As you can hear, the audio is terrible, and that is because we are right now using the internal camera audio and not the audio from the microphone that you are, by the way, also hearing right now in this recording. Because this is the audio right here. Let's call it audio. And what we want to do is drag the audio in here as well. So now we have both audio clips. And the first thing we need to do is convert the audio to a mono audio, because right now it is stereo, which you can see at the 2.0, which means there is one track running on your left ear and one track running on your right ear in both cases. But it's best practice to record audio in a mono way, which means the same track is displayed on both ears at the same time. And that is really simple. We just right click on here, change track type 2 and mono. And the same for this one, change track type 2, mono, and now we have 1.0, now we have mono track types. You won't have any difference when listening to it, but it will be better in the end result once we are finished with audio mixing. But now is a problem you might have already thought about. We have to align this audio and replace essentially the in-camera audio, which is this green audio right here, with the external audio. And DaVinci has a pretty neat feature to do so. I drag and drop and like select all clips. I go right click. And now we want to search for the option auto align clips. And once I press that, we can use waveform. So it will analyze the waveform and then align the clips. So automatically align clips, we want to use the waveform. Use track number 1. Sync. Now it's analyzing the content and it should align both like audio tracks to each other. Let's have a look. Perfect. So now if I mute this track, which was the in-camera audio, and give a listen to this track, it should be perfectly synchronized video, and you need something that can record audio. So and I think that looks pretty good. There I'm running around the room because it is turned off. What a surprise. Then you only want to record. Then I could help with something like. So one thing that I'm concerned right now is this thingy right here. Why is there more audio than here? Let's have a look. And if I want to now zoom into the timeline, I press tab to get closer, but this is a button I customized. So the same feature applies to here. If you want to customize any button, the same goes for, I have it on Shift Z, I zoom out automatically. This is, I think, the same button as if you would press this one. I just added the shortcut. If you want to add shortcuts in DaVinci Resolve, click on DaVinci Resolve, check for keyboard customization, and there you can customize every single button. Okay, let's close this. Let's zoom in here. All right. So let's have a listen. I make everything I learn fully transparent, so check it out. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Okay, so as we can see, it is perfectly aligned. So let's go even closer. And now we will do something pretty interesting. We will make our first cut. So let's have a listen. Bye-bye. Wait, let's have a look. Can you see this audio wave right here? It's missing here. I'm looking for if it's really perfectly aligned. I think it is though. So what we can do is we have a look at the last frame, and by the way, you can hear me scrubbing over the audio, and I think it is somewhere here. You can turn on audio scrubbing. Let's have a look. Audio scrubbing right here. Shift plus S is, I think, the default option, or just timeline, and then here. Then you will hear the audio being scrubbed, and you will also get a visual cue over here. Have a look. Whenever I'm hitting audio. Okay, but the first thing we can do actually to make this project simpler is remove the default camera audio and condense this to here. And now we have a simple 2-track setup. And now we can also right click anywhere here in the blank and delete the empty tracks. And right now, let's not mute the track. We have a perfect like this audio track. All right, cool. So now what we're gonna do is trim off the beginning and the end, so we have one clean recording. So let's go in here and zoom so far that we can hear the first thing of me saying. Hey. So let's open the mixer. This is one thing we can utilize right now. So it is basically the same thing as this one, where we can see audio, just in big. So audio 1 is essentially just this track right here. Whenever something is like leveling, we know that something is on the audio track. Okay, now if we go frame by frame, I'm just using the left mouse button, hold it and then drag. We want to drag to the first frame where we can hear and see a audio signal. So to be safe, I will go 1 or 2 frames before that. Probably here is the first signal we heard. So let's go 1 back. And now I will do a pretty neat shortcut that you can also adjust. So usually what you would need to do is click the edit tool or the blade. You could also press B. So I will press B. Now we are on the blade mode. And now I could make a cut here, and I could make a cut here. Now I would need to go back into the selection mode, or press A. Now I could mark both of these clips, delete them, and get the entire clip and drag it to the beginning. Now we would have made the cut. Or what we can do, let me resume. You can add a keybind, just press Q, and all of that has been done for you. There are tutorials, just have a look and search around for like Q and W keyboard shortcuts in DaVinci Resolve. I don't know the exact keyboard shortcuts, but there are a bunch of videos out there teaching you nice keyboard shortcuts for DaVinci Resolve, and it is definitely the most common shortcut. Or more specifically, if you're interested in me making a video about such shortcuts, then let me know in the comments down below. But the result that we have right now listens and looks like this. Hey, my name is Fabian Frank Werner. Perfect. Hey, my name is Fabian. All right, and now we want to do the same for the end. I can also press Shift Z, or this button right here. Let's zoom in. Now we want to do the same thing in reverse. We want to listen where the last frames where I say something. So it was. So we can go somewhere like, let's have a listen. Make everything I learned fully transparent, so check it out. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye. Okay, so let's go in here and let's go here. Now I do the exact same like W. W deletes everything from the end. So now we have a clean, snappy edit. And let's have a listen. Transparent, so check it out. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye. Cool. That is it so far. Just one thing. Let's prepare the audio for further editing. What I will do right here to make sure it is truly mono is I will go on the Fairlight tab, select our audio, right click, clip attributes, and then I will format the audio to mono as well and leave embedded channel 1, click OK. just to make sure it is truly converted into a mono track. Okay, now what I am usually doing is I will make the audio sound good first. It is just personal preference. You could also finish the edit first, but that's at least what I'm doing and what I like doing. So this is where the paid feature comes in. If I go anywhere on the audio, just listen to the audio and try to listen through the background humming. This is my fridge and my PC humming in the background. It is a electrical humming sound. I think it is 60 hertz in the PAL region and 50 hertz in another region in the world. So there are these things, you can Google that, and you could like remove it manually over plugins in the Fairlight page, or you can just do only in the paid version. Click this voice isolation button, and a artificial intelligence will analyze your audio and then isolate it from all of the noise. So now, if we give it a listen, little microphones that you can plug right in here. I hope it focuses right in this hole. And now let's have a listen without the voice isolation activated. You plug the microphone, stick it out of your shirt like this, and then can talk into it, and it works like a charm. But even the built-in microphone does work flawlessly. If you want to upgrade and go to the... Okay, so that is a simple fix. A more difficult fix would be, but there are also tutorials out there, to adjust the EQ. So this is our audio track right here. This is the same mixer that we have seen right here, but here we have in the Fairlight page more possibilities. So for example, we can add an equalizer to cut out the low end, for example, the lower frequencies and the higher frequencies, for example, and then we could go and remove some noisy frequencies, but we don't want to do that. So let's let's undo all of that. So we could do this, and then also here in the dynamics, we could fumble around with all of these plugins, add some effects, for example, restoration, noise reduction, dehammer, and de-esser. These are the free options that you can use, but this is just a simple time save, clicking the voice isolation, and then we are also good to go. So there are a bunch of tutorials to do it for free. In the paid version, you can save the time, at least I'm saving the time for myself by just clicking the voice isolation. And now the only thing we need to have a look at is the amount. So right now it is at max amount, and let's have a listen again. For example, over here. What a surprise. Then you only want to record 2-channel audio. I hope you can see it. Hey, my name is Fabian Werner. I'm a creator from German Gets. So, and now I'm really satisfied with the audio, but what you could maybe see is there are some spikes in the audio. Here is one, here, here, and over here are some. So let's have a look at those. So you want to record at a certain frame rate, for example. Okay, so these bumps are basically whenever I adjust my microphone, I assume. So these are... Usually you would not like bumps like these in your audio. So let's examine how bad they are. You need this type of stuff, but then also for like the audio gear, let me adjust it. Yeah, so what you could do, hypothetically, if you want to put in a lot of work and effort, you could manually remove those. So for example, let's say this one is too loud. I press Alt on my keyboard. I think if you are a Mac user, you know what button it is for you. And I press before that 1 frame, on another frame, and then after it, 1 frame and another frame. And now I have keyframes for the audio. Now I can drag this audio volume for this specific part down, and now it will look and listen and feel better in the video. Yeah. But I'm not gonna do it because I like the raw character of sometimes like messing around with my gear, and yeah, I like it. You real quick with another video, so we go live right now, okay? And this sets your gain for the audio in ring when you're talking into it. If you have a yellow ring like right now, then you are too loud. So you want to have that simple green ring. Okay, so that was on purpose. And what you could do to make your audio sound better, you can do it based on personal preference, also is normalize your audio. So you right click on your audio, normalize, and you can leave it at sample peak program. And this is just our different like algorithms to normalize audio. And what normalization does is it takes a look at the loudest point in your entire audio, and based on that level, it removes the entire audio recording by X decibels. So for example, if our loudest recording level point right now would be minus, or let's phrase it this way. The amount you type in here will be the loudest point in your recording. So for example, if I go with -1, then my recording will never be louder than -1 decibels. If I go -5, then my recording will never exceed -5 decibels. And yeah, for example, if I go with -5, you will see it got like shrunken down. So now the loudest point is -5 decibels louder. And what you want to aim for in your recording is when you look at your audio, you will always want to be in the yellow area. Input, so I'm using input 1. This is labeled. So this would probably be too like definitely not loud enough. Let's have a listen to the default audio as it was. I hope you can see it. Right here, the button is at its lowest. And I would say around decibels, it is better. It's set on manual. It's the wheel in the middle. This is the only setting that it also exceeds. It goes a little bit in the red direction, but I think it works perfectly fine this way. Okay. So let's keep it as is. And I think now we are finished with the like raw A-roll video. And now what we can do is we can have a look at the B-roll. So this right now is called A-roll. It is what the viewer sees. But to make your video more interesting, let's drag this on top. We can not show like our talking head style all the time. We can add B-roll. This is A-roll, let's call it like that. And this is B-roll. So why right now, while we are talking, you can see another video on top. This makes the video more interesting. Or like in this video, it shows you how to make the video, or it shows you what I'm telling you about. So there is this certain like saying, show, don't tell in video editing. And this is what I try to do here. So if we now only had a feature to align this clip to the place where it belongs in this entire recording. I wonder if we had already used such a feature. And yes, maybe you remember we have used such a feature. We will like mark all of that, right click, then we will go to auto align clips based on waveform, use track number 1, and let's synchronize it. And now it will align the audio clip perfectly to our recording. Let's have a look. Great. So now if I mute this audio right here, which is the internal audio from my smartphone. Let's have a look. So let's record. Right now you should be able to see me over here. And let's now have a listen to the built-in smartphone audio. Me over here. And this is a nice setup. So this is what I'm seeing right now when I'm recording this video. So this is exactly what I'm seeing. And what I just told you about is that you need a tripod. A tripod is nothing else than And now there is a stylistic choice. We could either leave the default audio, or we could use the like built-in camera audio. This is just personal preference. Let's have a listen again. Let's record. This part is nothing else than a little bit quiet actually. So let's actually go with the built-in microphone audio of my smartphone. What we can do here again is click device voice isolation, so it sounds good. Else do you need on equipment? Say if you adjust it real quick. You need and what we need to do here is, of course, make a simple cut in the audio. And let's have a listen. Okay, so we are back live here. And that is about. And let's do the same for this part. should be. But for this part, I will need to keep the audio for a short amount of time. So maybe around here. And now what I can do is be able to. Let's have a listen. See. Right now you should be able to see me over here. This is a nice setup. And as you can hear, it is not perfectly synchronous. Then you could get started. So I will stop this recording now and I will see you back again there. Okay. So let's have a look. The simplest way to do that is just by dragging the new audio on top of the previous audio, and that will pretty much replace it. So let's get in here, let's get real close, and let's have a listen to the audio. Recording a video on my smartphone at the same time. So let's record. Right now you should be able to see on my smartphone at the same time. So let's record. Right now you should be able. Okay, remove this bit. Let's have a look. A video on my smartphone at the same time. Let's record. Right now you should be able to see. And now I will go frame by frame. I do that by holding the K button on my keyboard and pressing J for going one frame back and L for going one frame forward. If I would only press L, this would be the same as pressing this button, or this button, and K would also be this button. So if I press L, it plays. Right now you should if I press L 2 times, it plays double the pace. And if I press J, it plays backwards. If I press double J or J1 again, it plays at double speed. If I press K, it pauses. Okay. So now let's give it a listen once again. Let's see if it is tight. Let's record phone at the same time. Let's record. Right now you should be able to see me over here. Okay, and that worked great, which means we can now also replace this video clip with the with the camera clip. This setup right now. Let's record. Right now you should begin with its all other XLR. So that is all right. And this process needs to be done for all of the other clips that you can see in here. So let's do that right now. So we need this one. And yeah, let's click right here. And I can already see that we have a little problem because these videos, for some reason, about it and are vertical right now. We can turn it so long until it, which means we need to adjust their rotation angle by 90 degrees and then zoom in. I zoom around in here by holding my mouse button pressed. This way I can change this window. And now we go really tightly. So 70. I think let's go with 80. Okay. Let's go with 75 so we don't lose any information. Okay, I think it is 178. 178. 1780 probably. Excuse me. Oh, it's 1.78. Yeah. Okay. So that is essentially what we need to do with all the other ones. That did not do what I expected it to do. Okay. Is there here a button? No. Hey, no. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this clip is now perfectly aligned. Let's do the same for this clip. So we need a rotation angle of 90. We need a zoom of 1.78. Perfect. And we need to do the same for this clip. We need a rotation angle of 90 and we need to zoom in 1.78. Perfect. So now we have all of our clips perfectly aligned. And now I want to do a small experiment. I only ever did this like, I only did this aligning thing for one audio at a time or for one clip, but now I will want to do it for all of those to save time. And what I'm going to do here is I will pick this clip and turn it into a compound clip so that we don't have no cuts in here. Let's do that. Compound clip, create. So now we have one cohesive video clip. And let's get all of the audio here, or all of the recordings, throw them in the timeline. And we must not forget that we also need our lighting stuff right here. But this is not synchronized, so this is just random B-roll. So for this, we need to find the actual audio. And now let's have a look if this works. If not, we lost some time, but learned something valuable. So right here, we want to go. Right now, I don't see the option where it is. Align, align, align. Or does it only really work for one at a time? Auto align clips, over normalize audio levels. Over normalize. Yeah, it is not available as an option. Okay, so then we will undo this entire thing, get back to the normal state, and I will do this for every single one. And I probably will not cut it. So yeah, I just leave it in so you can learn how it works. So let's pick this one. Let's auto align it. But you can, of course, skip this section. All right. So where is this? Microphone right game is just a fancy way of saying volume. So it needs a lot of. Okay, so let's go with auto aligning these ones. Synchronize. All right. So now we got that one. What is this one about? I think all of them are after this cut. Record. Okay, so now let's get this one. And let's auto align it. This was, by the way, the clip we adjusted with the angle. No match was found when trying to align these clips. Okay. So, I was just speaking about the light. The key light I'm using is the so-called aperture. Probably it is here. Oh yeah, it's probably this one. And this makes up for my light. Okay, so this is this part. The audio was not picked up well enough because I was too far away from the... Oh, and this is just an image, I assume. Okay, so we don't need this image. This was just a reference image I took for myself, but this will work again. Let's sync these and never forget this clip. We need this one later. But what you can see right here is with this red line means that we have already used this clip. So I can see this was not used yet, this was not used yet, and those two were not used yet. So let's do the same with those auto align clips. It is a pretty nice feature because it does all the work for you. And now, one last time, let's auto align clips. And then we need to add this one manually. Okay, the auto sync also failed. What is this one about? Let's listen to it. Oh, so this is just some random B-roll of my tripod that I shot. So we can ignore this for now. And let's just focus on these ones. Live right now. Okay, we should be go live right now. Okay, we should be live again. So the only So let's make a cut here. And let's make one cut here, and let's replace the audio, and let's check if it worked the way we expected it to work. By the way, you can also remove a cut if you click in between here, press the delete key, and now it should be gone. Show you real quick with another video. So we go live right now. Okay, we should be live again. So the only other button that you need is to turn this knob right here, and this sets your gain for the audio interface, and you need to turn it so long until it hits like always a green ring when you're talking into it. If you have a yellow ring like right now, then you are too loud. So you want to have that simple green ring whenever you talk. And the other button you need to activate is this button right here. It says 48 volts, and that is so-called phantom power, which means that is required just to power your microphone. All right, so that's enough for this clip. Let's have a look at these other ones. I think the thing with those is that the audio works just fine. It was just the first one where we were too far away from the mic. Let's have a listen. Switch into the camera mode again. Okay. So you have ISO, which is basically artificial brightness of your camera. You have aperture. The lower it is, basically the lower this number is, the more blurry the background gets. So you want to always keep it as low as possible to get like a cinematic or a well-looking image. And this is the so-called shutter speed. This is pretty simple. It's just your frame rate essentially. So you want to record at a certain frame rate, for example 24 frames or okay. And one last time, click here, make a cut, put it in here. Let's have a listen. Is on your lens you have to make a setting which is the so-called focal length. So these are these fancy numbers that a focal length of minimum 20 lens, the maximum of 70 millimeters, and this is just a stylistic choice. So the higher this number gets, the more zoomed in it is. Like right now I'm at 24. Okay, so there is a creepy close-up. That's a nice image. Make great thumbnails, for example. But let's get back to 24. This was just me demonstrating the focal length. Okay, so one video or one clip we need to make is, and align is this one. Yeah. So this was when I made this quick like visit to my light. I was just speaking about light. The keyword for the like microphone are. So what I'm gonna do is I will cut this one out and make it loud. And now it probably should be able to align itself. Let's have a look. Please, please, please. No. That means we have to do it manually. So, I was just speaking about light. So, okay, we can hear this cue at least. Show you what it is and how it works. Okay. So, okay, so we have the so right here. Let's have a look at my so here. Okay. And let's let's go with this clip. Okay. Let's stretch it out. Let's stretch this one out. Let's have a look. Let's mute this one. To show you what it is and how it works. Okay. So, I was just speaking about the light. The key light I'm using is the so-called Aperture 300D Mark II, and mounted on top of it is the Aperture Light Dome. And one thing I will not show you in the setup, but that you could for the like microphone arm. For the like microphone arm. Showing for the like microphone arm. So okay, I think that is about it. Microphone arm showing for the like. So this is Elgato. Okay, and I've used this clip right here. Let's zoom. Oh my gosh. Something went wrong here, so let's go that. Oh yeah, so I probably should keep it as is. So this is Elgato that Elgato. This is the I'm using for the like microphone arm. Showing for the like. So this is so I was just okay. So this was the place with so. We could remove that one right now. Let's go in here, voice isolation. And I need to turn on the voice isolation for these other clips as well. Okay. So you have... Oh, I don't need to because we use the original audio always. Okay, nice. So no mistake there. Let's have a look again real quick right here. Let's replace this one. Video with my phone to show you what it is and how it works. Okay. So I was just... So let's do this one a little bit like here so we have a nicer transition. Okay. So nice. I was just speaking about the light. Let's have a look at the transition in the end. I'll show you in the setup for the like microphone arm. So this is Elgato that I'm using, and this would generally allow you to look in the camera but read off text at the same. Okay, so this is it. Oh yeah, now the only thing we have left to add is the footage of the tripod from the beginning. The question is, do I need that footage? Hey, my name is Fabian from Werner. I'm a creator. Doing a quick rundown of a bunch of different components, and don't get intimidated if you don't have or own all of them at this point in time. I thought it's pretty easy. Everyone can. Don't get into. Give me a moment. Because what you can how the layout is right now. I want to share every single step I go through to make this shot come together as you have seen it just previously. So first things first, I will give you a quick. Yeah, and then right here we need to make a result shot. So I will set a marker. Just click and we'll set a marker. You can add some text. You will see it over here. Yeah. This video. And now I will listen through the video and have a look at if I need this footage or not. To carve behind the scenes look on how a video comes together so that we can go from this to this. Yeah. So starting with how the layout is right now, I want to share every single step I go through to make this shot come together as you have seen it just previously. So first things first, I will give you a quick rundown of everything you need to put this together, or better said, of all the gear I currently use to put my stuff, my shots, everything I use together. There are a bunch of different components, and don't get intimidated if you don't have or own all of them at this point in time. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, and I've invested a lot of passion, time, and money into this because I want it to be as good as possible. I want to make the best videos possible for education and that you can watch, so I invest a lot of money and time and passion into this, as I've already said. So don't get intimidated. Everything can be bought, everything can be saved up to. This is what I've been doing, and yeah, that's it. So let's start with what you need. First of all, you need, as always, when you want to record yourself, you need something that can record an image, a video, and you need something that can record audio. So how do you... Because what you can simply do is you can take this nice thing that you should have in your pocket and just use it. This, and let me pick the new phone for myself. This right here is a smartphone, and a smartphone has a camera app. And in this camera app, you can record videos as well as images and audio and everything. So you can use it for pretty much everything if you're a complete beginner. You can only record audio, you can only record video and remove the audio in your editing software, or you can record both at the same time, which I did for a pretty long amount of time when I got started. And then I plugged a like $5 Amazon lavalier microphone in it, which is these like little microphones that you can plug right in here. And how it focuses right in this hole. You plug the microphone, stick it out of your shirt like this, and then can talk into it, and it works like a charm. But even the built-in microphone does work flawlessly. If you want to upgrade, and of course we'll give you a quick look in a couple of seconds. The camera I'm using is a Sony FX3. This is the audio or the microphone I'm using right now to record the audio that you're hearing. Whatever. You need a microphone, smartphone, and you need a tripod. So something where you can mount your camera on. Okay, here it becomes interesting. And then first and foremost, if you have those two things, you need a... So that's where we can add this footage over here and just drag and drop it in there. Tripod, so something where you can mount your camera on. And yeah, that's basically it for the beginning. So right now I have this exact setup and I will show you everything that's put together, at least at this setup right now. And I'll do that by recording a video on my smartphone at the same time. Let's record. Right now you should be able... Okay, so I want to leave this shot in and I want to do it by retiming it so it perfectly aligns. So this needs to be sped up. Let's go with 400. Okay, perfect. Speed rate, no. Change speed, 200. Great. So now it is double the pace. Tripod, so something where you can mount your camera on. I'll do that by recording a video on my smartphone at the same time. Let's record. At least at this setup right now. And I'll do that by recording a video on my smartphone at the same time. Let's record. Right now you should be able to see... I can cut out the let's record to make it tighter. Let's have a look. A video on my smartphone at the same time. Right now you should be able to see me over here. And this is a nice setup. So this is what I'm seeing right now when I'm recording this video. So this is exactly what I'm seeing. And what I just told you about is that you need a tripod. A tripod. Okay, so let's go in there. Let's have a look again. First and foremost, if you have those two things, you need a tripod. So something where you can mount your camera on. And yeah, that's basically it for the beginning. So right now I have this exact setup and I will show you everything that's put together, at least at this setup right now. And I'll do that by recording a video on my smartphone at the same time. Right now you should be able to... Okay, so now we are finished with this part. Now we need to add this lighting part. And first of all, we need to have a look at which lighting we should use. But it is pretty hard to determine. But now it gets interesting because now we need one new thing, and this is called color grading. Okay, so let's dive into this topic first. So what you can see right here, for example, is already in perfect color. This, on the other hand, looks pretty washed out. And that's a pretty nice face I'm making right there. This is because this shot right here was recorded in S.709, which is the standard recording format that you will also find in the settings right here. Somewhere. Help. Image. Yeah, here. So our timeline color space right now, so the image we are getting is Rec 709. And now what we need to do is return these videos that were shot on my camera as well, but in the movie mode. So they were shot in S-Log3, which is a mode that compresses the image colors into this washed out look logarithmically. So it's called S-Log, S for Sony, log for logarithmic, and 3 for like the version. There's also S-Log 1 and 2, but this was shot on S-Log 3. And now what we need to do is put this back into the color room of Rec 709, so into this. And how do we do that? Well, it is also pretty simple. Just grab the image, so let's drag it onto our timeline. And this is just an example. And this is our image. Now we need to go over to the color tab. And what we can do is use a LUT. So LUT means lookup table, which basically maps different colors. Let's make it as simple as possible. LUT basically means, or let's put this note here, that we transform it back into something that looks like the 709. Great. And oh yeah, we are so lucky. In the folder that I created manually, I have a LUT straight imported from my camera settings that you will also get if you have a Sony camera. Just look, when you import your footage, there will be this LUT, and I just copy pasted it over to my PC out of the like SD card that I used for my camera. And when we use this one and drag it over here, what do you think will happen? Well, ta-da, we have a 709 grade, which now means this does not look washed out like this anymore. It is in Rec 709 and it looks pretty beautiful. From my red box on the table, the 48. So the thing that we need to do now is, out of these 5 clips, I just wanted to use 3. So now we need to find which ones to use. This is the first thing. And the second thing is, we need to find out where we need to use them in our timeline. But if we have done that, then we only need to add in this beginning bit here, and then we are finished and can export the video, which is great news because this recording has been going for a while, an hour actually, but since you are still here, I think you are pretty interested in this entire topic, and we are coming to the end of our video, like production editing process. And what we can do to color grade all of these at once is if we go into the Effects tab and look for an adjustment layer or adjustment clip, drag it over here, and now expand it to fit the size of all of those. Now what we can do is, we can also put this node or this lookup table on the, excuse me, we need to add the timeline here. No, not the timeline, the clips. We need to find the adjustment clip right here. Exactly, it was auto selected already because I selected it here, so no need to do that. But if you would need to find a specific clip, you would find it down here, but I just like disabled the view. Now we can drag it over here like this, and now everything under the adjustment clip is already turned into Rec 709. Perfect. Okay. Now we need to select 3 clips of those. I will quickly want to run through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get this one in here as well. I'm entering our today, and I will teach everything about editing in simple short video. Let's get that one in as well. It's free to download, which makes the entry of this is a recording. It's in my perspective, was a thought that I've had. So these are just videos. If you go deeper and strength and weaknesses. Before I told and I'm your instructor today, and I will teach you everything I know about editing in this simple and short video. Okay, so what we will do, just to simplify it, let's have a look first at, let's first add, like, you know, this great part right here. Yeah, that one actually is not that good, so we can remove it. But what we want to do is, when I say from this to this, there we want to add this one. And probably over 750 pieces of content over the span of 3 to 5 years now. And I want to show you today in this video a off-the-cuff, behind-the-scenes look on how a video comes together, so that we can go from this to this. And that's where I want to add this video. And then, of course, we have to deal with the other videos as well. To this. So start to this. So starting with how the layout is right. One key tip, you always want to edit your clip to when a person has the eyes opened. So let's grade this real quick. We could also get really creative with grading, but I just want to keep it simple right now, for now. So let's have a look. That we can go from this to this. Okay. So let's have a look at the intro again. already. Hey, my name is Fabian Werner. I'm a creator from Germany. I've been doing over 100 YouTube videos and probably over 750 pieces of content over the span of 3 to 5 years now. And I want to show you today in this video a off-the-cuff, behind-the-scenes look on how a video comes to, so that we can go from this to this. So starting with how the layout is right now, I want to share every single step I go through to make. Okay, that looks great. So now we want to time the out to this. So starting with how the layout is right now. Okay, so let's cut this out again. From this to this to this. So starting with how the layout is to this. So starting with how. Okay, and now the only part needed is where I demonstrate. Well, let's find this part first because that's also safe to say. That is a part where I talk about 3-point lighting. So I'm interested. The audio is not as for your images that are just too bright and then it looks awful. Put it for the second light in the 3. Oh yeah, here it is. Key light and the softbox. All right, and you could my mic stand. Yep, put it somewhere where it's not in the way, and then plug in the audio, the microphone, the XLR cables, put it in the camera, and yeah, then I have audio, I have an image, and then depending on the lighting situation, I optionally turn on this one, but as you can see with this video, for example, the lighting is absolutely fine, so I would not need any artificial light, but for example, if I would like to record at night, or stylistically, if I want to have a bright image, then I could help with. Yeah, let's put this one right here just to make it more visual. Stylistically, if I want to have light, but for example, if I would like to record at night, or stylistically, if I want to have a bright image, then I could help with something like the key light and the softbox. Stylistically, if I want to have a bright image, then I could help with something like the key light and the softbox. And you could also go with multiple lights. So what many people do is that you have a key light coming from the front, like right here, and that you have a key light coming from the front, like right here, and a backlight, and a backlight coming from the back, so it looks more cinematic. So just experiment with what you like. There are a bunch of videos. A backlight coming from the back, so it looks more cinematic. So just experiment with what you like. There are a bunch of videos. There's a thing called 3-point lighting. Just quickly explain this. So for example, you want to have one light source 30 degrees to your right. This would be your key light, as you can see. So for example, you want to have one light source 30 degrees to your right. This would be your key light. As you can see, this part of my face is brightest, so it looks well lit. But and this is cinematic that you always like film the dark side of your face. That's just the way it is. But here's a big window, so that's just automatically the way it is. And then you have for the second light in the 3-point lighting setup a fill light, which would come from the opposite direction. So light 1, 30 degrees to your right. Let's say 80% of the bright. Then you have for the second light in the 3 key. Yeah, okay, so it's around here. Now we need to get our clips together. Let's have a look at which ones we need. So this is a fill light, of course, from the fill side. We need to get him. Okay, so this is just the key light. Now, this is with the fill light. And what is this? Now this. Okay, so we can go with these 3. And what we will do is grab Rec 709, put it on here. Grab Rec 709, put it on. Oh, this already has it. Now we need to clips here, this one, and on this one. So now they are graded. Of course, you could adjust everything here as well, but I will just go with the automatic grading right here to keep it extremely simple and beginner friendly, because color grading itself is a science. This part of my face is brightest, so it looks well lit, and this is cinematic, that you always like film the dark side of your face. That's just a way. So we can get the first one here. Always like film the dark side of your face. That's just the way it is, but here's a big window, so that's just automatically the way it is. And then you have for the second light in the 3 key point lighting setup a fill light, which you always like film the dark side of your face, but that's just the way it is. But here's a big window, so that's just automatically the way it is. And then you have for the second light in the 3 key point lighting setup a fill light, which would come from the opposite direction, so light 1, 30 degrees to your right. The opposite direction, so like this setup a fill light, which would come from the then you have for the second light in the 3 key point lighting setup a fill light, which would come from the opposite direction, so light 1, 30 degrees to your right, let's say 80% of the brightness fill light, and 30% of the left to your camera, right. Yeah, okay, so let's put it here. Brightness 20%, for example, and then a so-called room light, which is this one, which lights you from your bed. Fill light, and 30% of the left to your camera. And 30% of the left to your camera. Brightness 20%, for example, and then a so-called room light, which is this one, which lights you from your back, so you get bright, let's say 80% of the bright. Okay, so I made one mistake right here, so let's see. Set up a fill light, which would come from the opposite direction, so light 1, 30 point lighting setup a fill light, which would come from the opposite direction, so light 1, 30 degrees to your right, let's say 80% of the brightness, fill light, and 30% of the left to your camera, brightness 20%, for example, and then a so-called room light, then brightness 20%, for example, and then a so-called room light, which is this one, which lights you from your back, so you get pretty much separated from the background by having this nice glowy halo. 3 key point lighting setup a fill light, which would come from the opposite direction, so light 1, 30 degrees to your right, all right, let's say 80% of the brightness, fill light, and 30%. That is it. So now we are ready to deliver the entire project. We can be proud of ourselves to having finished a 34-minute video that is pretty detailed and explains people everything they need to know. And this is pretty simple. We just click on the deliver page. We give this file a name. I usually go with 0, so the name I used previously. Then we need to select a location. So of course we want to select the location where we stored all the files initially as well. So let's go with file finished video. Let's go in there. Let's go saved. So now it should be saved under finished video, exactly. And now what we want to export to is, we want to go with MP4, which is like the best format. It's the one I'm using at least. For codec, we will go with H.265. It is the newer one than H.264, and the only difference is that it needs more computing power. That's the downside. And the upside is that it's the same quality at a lower file size. So that's perfect. So that's a no-brainer for me to use that one. Of course, you want to export it 4K, 25 frames, and this one, high quality, I will leave the default settings. I will add it to the render queue, so now it's over here, and we can render it. And now the only thing we need to do is wait. And as you can see, this can take a few minutes, but I won't bother you with having to wait for this project to finish. But what I can show you is, right now, assuming this one would have already finished, we can go to the folder and finish video, and here is our video. Of course, we can look at it right now because it's rendering. That's what this process is called. But if it is fully rendered, there will be our fully finished video. So I will leave this rendering in the background until it is finished. That's about time in 15 minutes. And right now, I want to thank you so much for watching this video so far to this point. I hope you've learned something. This is at least everything I know for using DaVinci Resolve. And yeah, if you have questions, let me know about them in the comments down below. Probably people from the community will answer them for you if they are experts as well. I hope you are now able to create great videos about pretty much anything for your business, for your personal projects, whatever. And if you've learned something, I would really appreciate it if you will like this video, share it to your friends who should also learn to edit videos, subscribe to the channel and to my newsletter, which you will find in the description down below, and promise me that you will have a freaking amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.